The 59 Siddhi, transparency, the return of Quetzalcoatl. The final phase of the evolutionary impulse latent within the 59 gene key will probably not occur on our planet at a collective level for many thousands of years. Having said that, the nature of time itself will change so radically that the world notion of things taking a long time will cease to have any real meaning for us. The mutation of the solar plexus essentially equates to the opening of our planetary heart center, and as most of us know, time stands still when you're in love. Beyond this transformation, out of the shadow and into the gift, lies a further transformation in which genetic mutations will take place within the brain chemistry of the pineal and pituitary glands. This higher process will lead to the dawning of the 59 Siddhi, the Siddhi of transparency. Transparency, as we understand the word today, is not even close to what it means at the Siddhic level. Today we speak of being transparent. We mean being open and honest in our communication with others. The Siddhi of transparency actually involves the dispersion of all aspects of the self back into the sea of creation. In mythical terms, the 59th and 55th gene keys represent the force of prime yang and prime yin, respectively. The 59th gift is the seed or semen, and the 55th gift is the egg. When the frequency of this gene key reaches the Siddhic level, these kinds of symbols cease to have meaning since they no longer function through duality. The semen of the 59th gene key is spent and the egg is no longer needed. What you have left is a state beyond description and beyond evolution. Transparency is what remains when evolution becomes meaningless. At a genetic level, the 59th Siddhi cannot exist within the physical body because it is the driving force behind evolution. The state of transparency carries no agenda or purpose. It simply acts as the conduit for awareness. Thus, the only purpose of the 59 gene key is to break down all barriers that stand in the way of union. When this has happened, this aspect of our genetics will no longer be needed. The 59th gene key is the master key in the genetic codon group known as the ring of union. These 4 gene keys, the 4th, 7th, 29th, and 59th, have long governed human relationship patterns and their dysfunction on our planet. Their ultimate role is to bring the human family into realization of its state of higher union. This sequence leading to transparency begins with the process of forgiveness, triggered by the 4th gene key. Once you have forgiven yourself, using your relationships as a mirror, you will discover your true aura of virtue, the 7th gene key. Once you have found your inner virtue, you begin to pour yourself out into others, recognizing the same divine source in every person you meet. It is this devotion, the 29th gene key, that is the true doorway to transparency. Devotion empties you out, bringing you into a purified higher state of awareness, where you no longer relate to people or objects as other. Transparency brings everything inside your own being, eliminating the very concept of inside and outside. It is the greatest leveler within the whole sphere of life. In nature, the 59th gift is represented by the golden mean, a universal geometric form underlying all creation. However, If one tries to create a spiral out of the golden mean to represent the Siddhi in its entirety, one immediately meets a well-known mathematical impasse because such a figure would have no beginning and no end. This is representative of the 59 Siddhi. It cannot appear in nature or be understood by mathematics. It simply does not appear to exist, hence its transparency. You can perhaps see why transparency taken to a collective level entails the disappearance of the form of our universe. When this does eventually occur, as it must, it is difficult to say what form humanity will take, if indeed it takes any form at all. If humanity were to take on some kind of future form, it would certainly no longer be an outgrowth of evolution as we understand the world. Neither would it have the need to reproduce itself, since its being would be eternal. In the times ahead, and even perhaps today, the 59 Siddhi is imminent. Beings will come into the world manifesting the full power of the Siddhi, just as mass consciousness will begin manifesting the 59th gift of intimacy as the norm, so as few will begin to manifest this most rarefied of vibrations. These will be people who have gone beyond all concepts of agendas. The ultimate agenda is evolution, the idea that there is still some scope for growth. Although the form of our world will continue to evolve, the consciousness out of which it emerges can never and has never evolved. Only awareness can evolve, and it is evolving very quickly through the transformations and mutations coming through this gift and Siddhi. However, when awareness has reached its ultimate expression, it becomes a clear mirror for consciousness, and this is what transparency is. It reflects life without any additional comment. It is a state we humans have always dreamed of attaining, the ability to look upon the world without judgment. There is an ancient Mayan prophecy that speaks of the return of Quetzalcoatl, a being symbolized by the feathered serpent. The ancient calendars have long connected this event to coincide with the year 2012, at which time, according to the Maya, the time will cease to exist. Such prophecies are perhaps best not taken literally, but seen as alchemical markers emerging from the collective unconscious. The journey of consciousness through the 59 gene key, symbolized aptly by the figure of Quetzalcoatl. The feathered serpent is the same as the symbol of the dragon. It represents the harmonization of the lower nature, the serpent, with the higher nature, the bird. This is indeed the new epoch we are now entering. Most scientists agree that our genes have a hidden agenda to survive, and that, no matter what we do, they will find ways to mutate if their ongoing survival is threatened. Genes operate below our conscious awareness. You might even say that God is hidden within our genes, but until we raise our frequency, we cannot experience God. We, therefore, must learn how to be transparent, both with ourselves and interaction with others. Our first step is to let our barriers down and look deeply into our fears. Even our deepest genetic fears, such as the fear of losing our loved ones, act as subtle barriers that keep us from realizing that our genes are not exclusive but inclusive. Every man and woman is our genetic brother and sister, and no single individual, family, tribe, or nation is an island. We are all one genetic tribe, moving through a huge and transformative period in history, the end result of which will be the realization of our unity. We are all one genetic tribe, moving through a huge and transformative period in history, the end result of which will be the realization of our unity.